Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Robert Eisenstadt. Today we got a just official badass in the studio. Why are you kicking me?
I'm going to keep kicking you.
We got 5 times Miss Supercross, Monster Energy model, co-owner of Salty Honey, TV host, real estate owner and investor, on top of being a mom to 2 beautiful babies and wife of Ryan Bates, which is probably a job in itself.
It is a job in itself.
We got Miss Dianna Dahlgren on the show. Thank you, Dianna, for taking the time to join me. So you got into Monster Energy as a model originally, right?
Yeah, I did. I actually was, I was already modeling, and I had a friend who worked at Monster in the marketing department that ran their event side of things. And I basically, before I was even 18, I was like, I model. I want to work as a Monster girl at Supercross, because at the time Monster Energy only had Supercross. There was no other,
right.
You know, they weren't the conglomerate they were. They started with Supercross. So I basically said, I want to be a Monster girl. And he didn't really say, oh, I can help you out or anything like that. All of a sudden, he did say oh, I'll see if I can get you in touch with Kelly Louch. And so I was like, okay, great. And that's the Monster model. She still is to this day. And that's what happened. She all of a sudden just hit me up and she was like, hey, listen, Rico and I talked about it and you're going to be a Monster girl for Supercross this year.
This is before you were 18?
No, this is after I turned 18.
Well, I'm saying, but you started looking into it before you were 18.
Yeah.
Or negotiating anything before you were 18 or anything?
No, there's no negotiations. You just, they hire you as a Monster girl, it's just a flat rate.
What were you modeling for before that?
I was doing swimwear, beach rip curl. I'd done rip curl, Cobean sandals. I had done, the day I turned 18, I started doing lingerie modeling.
Oh,
and
man.
I did that a little bit. And then I realized I don't really want to do that because the next step is getting naked. And you don't really want to get naked that young. So, some girls do.
No OnlyFans at 17 and 18 years old?
Yeah, no Playboy.
They didn't never mind.
No Playboy. No Playboy at the time.
So did you have a manager, or were you doing all this stuff yourself?
No, I was doing everything myself. And I just kept on looking up things on the internet and just doing everything I could to be like, where can I go next? Where can I go next? And I had met someone who had the licensing deal for Hustler Lingerie. And he's actually a good friend of mine till this day. His name's Elon Rofe. His dad's the biggest lingerie maker in the world. His name's Renee Rofe. And he basically said hey, Dianna, come work the international lingerie trade shows for me. And he was like, how much do you want to be paid? And they're 3 or 4 day long shows. And there were I was $150. And I thought that was a lot of money at the time. He was like, no problem. But this is in 07, 08. I'm born in 1990. So the lingerie show was in February, mid-February every year back then. So I turned 18 on February 4th. And a week later, I was here working at the International Lingerie Show. And I thought I was rolling in the dough. I literally was like, I'm making $600 in 4 days. I am freaking out, you know? Yeah. I'm working at a pizza parlor a year prior, making $6.25 at the time. So, I was pumped. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I came out here and I worked, and that's just what I started doing. I saw how the game worked with the models and stuff like that. And I asked the other models that they booked, hey, what do you do, for bookings? And one girl was like, oh, I have an agent. One girl was like, oh, I'm on a internet, casting website. Oh, I bring my headshots with me and I go and pass them out. And so that's what I did so they were every 6 months. So 6 months later, he hires me again, and I had gotten on the platform. I made headshots, and I think that's all I probably did at the time. Or I started a website. I bought my domain, and I just threw up a splash page, how to contact me and everything. And then that's what I did. I went through and I passed out my card to every single booth. I'm like, who wants to hire me? And then the licensee of Hustler Clothing had came up to me and was like, hey, I see you're working for Renee with Hustler Lingerie. We'd like to hire you for the Hustler Clothing. And I didn't even know what Hustler was.
Right.
I didn't know that it was a porn, like Larry Flint and all that stuff. I just knew it because back in those days, the Broho, Metal Militia, Hustler Clothing, that was the vibe. It was so Supercross, so dirt bike heavy was oh my God, that's what I grew up in. So that's what I did.
See, that's awesome though, because you got like an opportunity and then you went to the other people and you were like, hey, what are you doing? And just kind of looked back at yourself and you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like you kind of caught on. So
I realized too, I need to be skinny. Like I was like, okay, I got my baby fat on me. Like I need to be like slender. I need to get fit.
It's really like super competitive with that stuff, huh? Like, is it like that? Like, I definitely don't know. But
well, you're not going to get booked if you're not like fit.
Yeah.
You know, or like you're not slender for those kind of shows. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but right now they've moved away from it. They've started booking like bigger girls, bigger models.
Yeah.
But back then none of that was even in play.
Damn.
None of that. That was like stick figure, and I was the only one there with a big butt, you know, and thighs, you know, because I'm built like I was a gymnast for a really long time. So I was always the only girl with like a bubble butt, and all the other girls were like these little stick figures, and whatever, it worked out because they always booked me. Yeah. And it was awesome. So I had my little fake ID come to Vegas.
Oh,
we'd go to the clubs.
But it wasn't.
Too Short was there. Too Short was at the Voodoo Lounge.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you hang out with him?
I didn't hang out with him, but he was there. And the funny thing is that he started talking to one of the girls at the front of the stage.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Bitch, let me see your ID." He's all, you don't look 21. And he pulls it out and he's like, "Bitch, you are not 21. You're 18. And I don't know if he was making a joke, but it was hilarious. So I'm a Too Short fan.
Weren't you just listening to him on the way here?
Yes, I was.
Well,
I threw him for a curveball.
18.
I threw him for a curveball right there.
No, I can just picture you 18 years old in a club trying to talk to Too Short.
I was not trying to talk to Too Short. Trust me.
No, I'm not saying trying to like hit on him. Just, I don't know.
I'm black dude candy. You feel me? I am like literally like I'm known for that.
Does it happen all the time?
Oh my God. I've never been like really hit on. Like, okay, so I have a couple boyfriends before Ryan, right? Like serious boyfriends that I had. All of them, there was a connection made from somebody else. There was never like this, like, hey, I'm like, Ryan's the only white dude to come up to me and be like, "Hi, my name's Ryan. I think you're absolutely amazing. I think you're absolutely beautiful. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Every other dude to ever come up to me like that and like shake my hand and be like, "Hey, what's up?" are black dudes.
Really?
I am like a black dude candy bar.
I mean, whatever.
Listen, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I was telling him, I can't believe I'm going into this on tape. Remember I was telling you that story about, remember the two guys, the big two guys? I can't.
You should probably get into detail.
We're not going to say their name. Now. We're not going to say their name, but could tell them. We're not going to say their names.
I agree. Don't say names.
No, I'm not saying any names.
But you should probably go into a little bit more detail about what you're talking about.
Oh.
Because the whole time she's like, "Oh, I'm Candy. Remember those two big guys?"
Oh, boy.
Not big, but like
big name.
Oh.
Big names.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. What, they were hitting on you?
Yeah.
flued out before flued out was a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a piece of Miss Dianna.
I know.
I'm assuming that was in like your whole modeling stage and everything.
Yeah, that was early on in my career. That was quite early on in my career. Ryan always is like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe so and so flew my chick out to New York City." He's like, "Come on, Dianna."
It's like the reverse. Have you seen Shane Gillis?
No.
The comedian?
Oh, yeah.
How he talks about like Navy SEALs and he's like, "A Navy SEAL like destroyed my sweet baby's pussy."
Oh my
You never
God.
seen that?
I've never seen
anyways,
that.
you should definitely watch that and make sure you watch that with Ryan.
Oh my God. I'm dying.
It's like the reverse of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the Navy SEAL on the other side.
I know.
All right. Anyways.
Sorry.
No,
I
you're good. You're good.
I off track with that one.
That's okay.
That one's going to hit hard for the gram though. Don't you think so, LJ? That one's going to hit hard. I'm black, dude. Candy.
Hey, can you do me a favor and make that into a meme? Like one of those like gifs that just like repeats, you know?
Seriously, dude. White blonde girl that freaking has a big butt and thighs.
I'm not.
Ryan always says need a navel. Ryan's like a need a navel guy. He's like slender waist with a big ass and thighs. And he's like, all my brothers love that shit too. I'm a brother. And I'm like, You is, baby boo. You
You guys
is.
are fucking wild. I don't know.
We're wild. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Is all this bad stuff? Oh, okay.
No, it's a great. I mean, it's my show. You can do whatever you want.
I know.
No, it's a great thing.
I'm also don't come from the generation where like I feel like nowadays people are so touchy feely, and I'm I'm probably gonna hurt your feelings then because you sound like a little bitch. So I'm not a little bitch.
Has that been hard for you in business?
No, because I definitely embrace like respect and loyalty and kindness through my business. And anytime like we're talking about jokes and stuff, it's always like a laugh. I haven't had to get too serious in business about anything like that's going on right now in the world that's politically correct.
Yeah.
We've had a couple people like through the last few years be like try to get us on like PC shit, but it's just like, hey, that's not, we run our business like this. We're kind, we're respectful no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's how we run our business. So I did post a thing that had and I did end up taking it down. I'm disappointed I took it down, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I don't need to pander to everyone in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely have my boundaries, but I can go ahead. It's not completely, it wasn't completely true, but I had thrown up a photo on Instagram that had Dylan Mulvaney of him in a bikini, and it said Democrat women. And then I had me right next to it in like an American flag bikini that said Republican woman. And it hit fucking hard on Instagram. Like it was going off, right? I had 2 girls write in that they were newer ambassadors of our Salty Honey ambassador team say like, hey, I can't support your company anymore because I can't be an ambassador because of the post that you just made. And so it wasn't until those 2 girls wrote in that I ended up deleting it, because I was like, okay, if you knew my personality, you would know that like it was harmless on my end.
Yeah.
But people don't know me personally via Instagram. Right. So they probably thought, I have to, they have their boundaries and I respect that. So it was a joke, but I guess it was made at the wrong time.
I will definitely say this. That is like one of the biggest things I love about both you and Ryan is y'all don't change for shit.
Yeah, it's hard to change.
Like, well, I'm saying like there's so much fake shit on social media. And like, I've been over to your guys' house plenty of times. Nothing that you guys like post is like not actually happening. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who was at your house yesterday, but you literally had your tits in front of a fireplace.
I did. I did have my tits out in front of my fireplace.
I have
they were ice cubes.
No, I get that.
It was raining all day. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging you at all. I'm saying like, there's zero doubt in my mind that that's something that you just did for social media. Like,
no, I
wholeheartedly believe that you were literally just sitting there warming up your tits. Then your friend pulled out her phone.
But I actually told her to. I was sitting there for like 5 minutes warming up my tits. And then I was like, why don't you take a video of this? Because I think this is funny. If I was on the outside looking. But if she wasn't there, I would have just been roasting my tits by the fire. Just naturally.
No, and like, again, like that's one of the things I definitely respect a lot about you guys, because there's a lot of misleading stuff on social media nowadays,
Yeah, I agree.
Real ones. So.
Yeah, social media throws us for a loop. I'm really happy to hit the heyday on Instagram before algorithms existed. But yeah.
Do you think, like, I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know, the whole Monster Energy thing really like helped you build your personal brand, right?
Supercross did.
Or do you think it was vice versa? Oh, okay.
But there was also a bunch of other things dabbled in
there.
But
weren't those like intertwined with each other? Like Monster
Energy is the title sponsor of Supercross. It's not. Monster Energy doesn't own Supercross. Feld Entertainment owns Supercross. Monster Energy is the title sponsor.
So what exactly was your title for Supercross?
Miss Supercross.
Just Miss Supercross.
But Monster Energy Supercross, they're the title sponsor. So that's why when you hear Miss Monster Energy Supercross, it's because it can be both things. Sponsor. It's Miss Supercross or Miss Monster Energy Supercross.
So were you double dipping?
It would depend.
Not double dipping, but like, were you getting paid from both ends?
No. It depended. If I got like a booking through Monster for that weekend, but no. My Miss Supercross deal had nothing to do with Monster. And just like my Monster deal had nothing to do with Supercross, I actually didn't get signed to a contract for Monster until after I was done being Miss Supercross.
Oh, completely after? Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So for the few years too that I was Miss Supercross, I didn't do many Monster gigs, like as a Monster girl. Like there would be bigger things that I would go to. Like maybe it was like NACS or the sales meeting. Like we're talking big events for internal Monster I would go to, but I wouldn't do like an event.
Right.
I would go hit internal big things where they like bring out their athletes and they bring out like their A-team crew basically.
Right.
So I was a Monster girl for 2 years and then I switched over to being Miss Supercross for 5 years. So I went to 2 seasons of being just a Monster girl.
Wait, so you were a Monster girl, then
First,
Miss Supercross, and then
Miss Supercross.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you just said
I was a Monster girl for 2 years. Then I was Miss Supercross for 5 years.
And then what about after Miss Supercross?
And then I got signed to Monster Energy after I was Miss Supercross to represent the brand.
Oh, okay.
Like an athlete.
So 2 completely different kinds of contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. But that all came from the lingerie thing, like in the beginning, or no?
No, that didn't come. And no lingerie stuff came from that. I just had experience modeling.
I'm just trying to lay it out. Like you did the modeling, and then you found Supercross.
I was already friends.
Monster.
I was friends with my buddy who worked at the marketing department.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
okay.
that was all happening simultaneously. Then I throw in my fitness career. 2 years into being a Monster girl, I was traveling so much I didn't know how to eat right, and I started gaining a lot of weight. And I came home from this one booking and I couldn't fit into this skirt, and I was like, I got to do something about this. And I'd worked with another model who did a fitness competition, and I was like, I can do that. Like I was a gymnast. Like I know I look like that under this layer. And so that's when I started doing fitness competitions. So right about 20 years old, I started doing fitness competitions, and I got picked up right away by Weider Publications. So while I was Miss Supercross, I started picking up all these magazine covers, like when magazines were still huge.
Yeah.
I have like 30 magazine covers and fitness covers and dirt bike and Harley covers. I mean, everything. That was right during that time, right before kind of magazines took their downfall.
What was that like for you? Like, my imagination, is like you see a lot of people get things like that, and it kind of gets to their head. I don't think that happened to you, but I'm saying, like, in that sense, what was, like, was it hard for you to deal with that stuff, or you just pumped the entire time, or was it, like no big deal to you?
It was kind of like I was pumped. I was so grateful.
Yeah.
But I was also banging them out so much that I was like, on to the next. Like, let's get another one.
Yeah, you were just always looking for the next one.
Yeah, like a lot of girls will sit there and be like, I'm a 2-time magazine cover, and they've like have built a career off of being on a magazine a few times or one time. Me, I'm like, I would go and post it when I found it in the store or when I saw it in the airport or whatever, and I thought it was so cool, right? But then I was just like, here I am, but let's get the next one.
Right.
Like I've always been like that, no matter what it is.
I feel like that's why you're so successful. You're just always motivated for like the next thing.
Yeah.
It's
a problem, honestly.
You guys are just killers. It's crazy. I love to see it.
I know, and my business partner, she's also the same way.
I've never met
We
her
don't
yet.
get like, it's funny, her and I are both the same, like bad things have happened to us in business, and we just like, fuck it. We're like, we don't like what would kill most business owners, major setbacks. Like we had $154,000, our biggest payout ever from a 1 weekend of sales, and it was stolen from us.
I remember that going on.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
And that would kill most people. That would kill most small businesses.
Absolutely.
We wrote up probably $100,000 in credit cards for the 3 months after that. But we were able to make it back, or pay off the credit cards, that floated us. But it was something that would kill most people and defeat them. I fucking cried about it and accepted it. And 10 minutes later was like, this doesn't like, make me fold. This makes me like lights my fire even more.
Right.
So that's what happened. And here we are, we're a multi-million-dollar business now, and we're just getting started.
Yeah.
And we've worked so fucking hard. And I'm like, I go to my business seminars thinking God, what are some things that we can do to become bigger, become better, all this stuff. But I get tired sometimes because you do the same thing. You know, you do what works over and over and over again.
It's monotonous.
And then you go to these seminars and you're like, my fucking tank's refueled.
Yeah, you get on some crazy high.
Yeah. And you just like, you start rolling out, like the creativity just starts. It's when because you're not surrounded by people like that all the time.
Nope.
So then you go to this room full of 600 people, or like we've gone to these ones that are like 40 people, you know, like multi-million dollar businesses. And it's just, Taylor and I, we stick out like a sore thumb. We'll be in a room full of men.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're the only females there.
You ever seen any other women there?
Rarely.
Really?
Like the big ones where there's 500, 600, 700 people there. Yeah, there's women there. But the salesman at Viva told us, like, oh, we don't approach women because we assume they're here with either a husband or as an employee. 95% of the time, the women that are here are as a guest to the owner of the business.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
As an assistant, as a manager, something like that.
Yep.
They're typically not making the business choices. So like when they would approach us, they would be like, oh, are you guys the owners? Are you guys the ones making the financial choices of the company? And we're like, yeah. So then we started asking them, you know, what is it that, what's your sales tactic, and why has nobody came up to us until the third day of the seminar? And they're like, oh, well, we thought you were here with Ryan and he was the owner of the business. And we're like, no, he's here on our coattails. Actually, this is his first time coming here. We're like repeat customers. So.
Okay. So two questions with that. One, I want to back up. How did you get into Salty Honey? Like, what made you get into that whole brand thing, and how did you meet Taylor, right? Mm-hmm. And then what made you go to the conferences?
Okay. I'm going to start at square one. Taylor and I have been best friends since we were 14 years old. Met on the quad campus of Lake Elsinore High School. And funny story, I got kicked out of Merida Valley High School. I'm a bad girl. I was a bad girl.
What'd you do?
There was a lot of things. We don't need to talk about that. So I got kicked out of Merida Valley High School and I went to Lake Elsinore High School in a different district. Well, the next year, maybe even not the next year, a couple months later, even though we're the same exact age, I was 1 grade ahead of her. And I seen her, it must have been my junior year, or it might have been my sophomore year. I can't remember what year it was. I don't know. Anyways, she was there. I'm trying to think of like how many years she did at Merida Valley High School. I can't remember. All of a sudden I saw her I knew who she was at Merida Valley High School. Yeah. She was a junior when I was a sophomore there. It must be junior and sophomore.
Okay.
And I knew her because she had like hung out with some mutual friends of mine, and that was it. Then I got kicked out, went to Elsinore. All of a sudden, fast forward a few months later, I see her walking on campus at Elsinore, like with a backpack and everything, like she's going to school. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's that one chick from Merida Valley High School. So I walked over to her and I was just like, hey, my name's Dianna. And, do you want to be my friend? Basically, I was like, I know who you are from Merida Valley High School. And she was like, kind of looked at me confused, I remember. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, and it's kind of the rest is history. We got into a lot of debauchery together. I got sent off to boarding school shortly thereafter, probably a year or two after we met. I got sent off to boarding school.
Where?
Pahrump, outside of Pahrump an hour. It's called Amargosa Valley, Nevada. Yeah. Funny how I ended up landing and living in Nevada, and I went to boarding school in this state. But she ended up dropping out of Elsinore and went to continuation school. When I got home, it was kind of roles were reversed. I was like the good kid now, and all my friends that I tried to corrupt before I went to boarding school were now bad girls. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get in trouble with you girls. So what I ended up just telling myself was like, I'm going to get in trouble if I drink or do drugs or anything. So I'm just going to be a sober driver. I have my license, and I'll just drive all my girlfriends around. So that's what I did. I got a full-time job at this place called 74 Motorsports, and I was a little desk girl Monday through Friday. And
that's a lot of discipline at a young age.
Well, I had to. What the fuck else are you going to do when you're fucking 16, 17 years old and you can't do anything?
Did you think the boarding school worked?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely did. Yeah. And actually, we were here talking about it last week because Paris Hilton. So the boarding school she went to, Paris Hilton, she's such, I think that she's a whiner. I think that she's not I think that she has a lack of accountability, Paris Hilton, because she like ruined these people's livelihoods for quite a while, or put them on blast, basically. This group of boarding schools, it's a really good program. If you hire the wrong staff, it can be a bad deal. Some of these schools had bad raps for bad staff, but most of the time they know what they're doing. So I went to that group of schools, and I didn't love it while I was in it. Nobody loves it while you're in it. But when you come out on the other side and you're so emotionally advanced more than your peer group, you can just make such smart decisions. But if you cave to acceptance and cave to wanting to like, peer pressure and wanting to be cool to your friends because that's what you think is important, then you're going to fail. Just like you did before you went into boarding school. And that's why you landed there. Yep. Not me. I was like, I could have fun. I could go out with my friends. I could, my parents were great. They were like, here's your curfew. I minded them. I knew that I didn't want to go back to boarding school. So at I'd come home at midnight every night and I just listened to them and I just did my thing until I was 18. The day I turned 18, I was like, fucking out of here. Yeah. And
so
then
you
moving on,
reconnected back with.
Yeah. So Taylor and I are friends through all these years, I had already kind of had a taste of business because I had like been doing my own marketing stuff, right? Like selling my own pictures and my calendars and all my stuff. So I knew what the power of was as social media, selling stuff through social media. She started working with her husband at the time. One of his friends' wives did bikinis. So she started doing like bikini wear. And I like was a model at her photo shoots and stuff like that. And I had told her.
So you were a model for another
bikini, lots of bikini brands.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I did for, I was modeling for a living. So anytime it booked me for a photo shoot. So then what happened was I basically just said to her, I got a loose little chode here. Yeah. So then it's okay.
I'll fix it. There you go.
So little Dicky here. I got little Dicky in my hand. We were on the phone talking and I was like, I want to do what you're doing. Like I want to create a business like that. Like I want to do it. And she was like, you need a partner because you're so busy traveling. Like you need a partner first off. And she's like, you need to do activewear. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, Dianna, like you're ripped. You work out every day. You just need a partner. So I was like, you're right. So it was actually originally me and my girlfriend Sam went down to Los Angeles and we like went into the fabric factories. And then after that, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And I wasn't going to call Taylor and be like, so tell me how to do everything,
Right.
So I just let it go. And for like probably 2 years, there was never a thing. But I knew the company name. I knew what I wanted it to be. And obviously knew it was Salty Honey. Well, then we're talking in like Taylor and I, a couple of years later. And I'm like, I want to start Salty Honey. And she was like, I am not involved in that bikini brand anymore. So let's do it. And I was like, oh my God, what? Really? What? And so I knew that she was going to be the perfect partner for me because I always would take Taylor with me to the mall to buy my outfits when I was in high school. So I was like, I always knew I wanted to be the business side. But I wanted that partner to like create and be the creative side, So that's how we came together, and it works out really amazing because she's the yin to my yang and I'm the yang to her yin, and we just work so amazing together because her brain sees all the creative holes and I see all the logistic analytic holes. And that is really how we are so great together because I respect her creativity and she respects my logic and my analytic side of my brain.
That makes a lot of sense. Partnerships are fucking hard.
That is so funny. You know how many people tell us that?
Well, I think the reason I had this conversation this morning with somebody.
But why is it hard, Robert?
Because, the reason partnerships are typically hard is expectations.
Give me 3 reasons why. Like rattle them off. 3 reasons.
Like an expectation of, hey, I expect you to do this and I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. And if you're not holding up to that expectation, then I get frustrated or whatever.
But have you watched their work ethic before that?
I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about in general.
I know, but you're getting that from someone, from something. You're getting that from some kind of scenario. You wouldn't say that without an experience.
Yeah, you know, I used to own my pressure washing business with.
No, I didn't know that. With a partner?
Faith.
Oh, your ex.
Yeah.
Hey, Faith.
I'm definitely not diving into that, but there was a lot of hardships, especially when you're doing business with a partner or with like a spouse.
Oh yeah.
That shit was hard.
Yeah. With a spouse is different. I'm not talking about with spouses.
Yeah.
Spouses are
like, and I have a partner. I have 2 partners in my air conditioning business, and there has to be a lot of communication with everything.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm expecting you to do, and vice versa. You know.
Is there like a captain of that ship? Like, even though there's 3 of you, is there one that kind of like dictates or like is the driver of the business?
I would say we're really on the same page with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
As far as like
when someone comes up with an idea, who initiates and executes that idea?
probably me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might be more of the strategizer and the driver.
So in the air conditioning business, it made a lot of sense for us because I am not the technological person for HVAC. I don't know a lot about air conditioning. I know about like CRM softwares and networking and kind of like you, like the business side of things, right? So that partnership for me made a lot of sense. You deal with everything about air conditioning. Let me deal with everything else.
So how's that partnership been for you then?
Good.
How many years are you into your business with that one? 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe in the next 2 to 3 years you'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm expecting that.
It just takes communication and respect.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing. Taylor and I, first off, we have the same beliefs. Like we both believe in Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. So I think that comes with a lot of our choices and how we choose to say our words is because we are firm, like in that foundation.
But you've never gone in an argument with her?
No, we don't ever
really?
we don't
or
yell at each other.
Disagreement?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah,
there's
okay,
disagreements.
I think that's what I meant. Not an argument, but like a disagreement. You know what I mean?
But where we've seen a lot of people partnerships fail because they have no respect for one another and they pop off. And it's like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't.
I could definitely see that. And that's probably.
And her and I have very good self-restraint. Like, don't get me wrong. Her and I will pop off on other people. Like we've seen each other both go red on other people. But when it comes to her and I and our closest friends too, is like we have this very extreme level of restraint where we really like mull over in our brain and think about what we're going to say and how we're going to say it before it even comes out. Because we care and love each other so much that we don't want something to come poorly across and then it fucking, flips that switch,
I couldn't fucking imagine being on your bad side.
Me?
Yeah.
I know.
I would not want to.
You wouldn't want to be. It's bad.
Yeah,
But you know what? What girl isn't bad?
I don't doubt it.
What girl isn't bad? I mean, most girls are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I speak with a lot of force.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you don't give a fuck about nothing. Like
I do give a fuck.
Well, like I'm saying, like if
I give a fuck.
If you're pissed at somebody, it doesn't matter. Like at least my imagination is, don't matter who they are, don't matter what they're saying. Like fuck you. Like,
well, if they're saying something,
I could
wrong,
just imagine you teeing off on somebody.
If they're saying something wrong, I will pop off real quick. I had a bad run-in a couple weeks ago in Phoenix, actually, at one of the seminars. We decided to stay an extra night. So we went out to this bar with, one of our friends. Well, it's an unfortunate story. This young guy that was in our group was there with his girlfriend. This gay guy came up to him and started advancing on him. And his girlfriend was like in hand, like right next to him. And he was like, hey, you look good. And I was kind of like probably about 10 feet away from him.
Yeah.
So I heard and saw the thing, it go down. And he was like, hey, you look good. And he was like, thanks, man. And at first he wasn't like just taking it as a compliment. And then the guy like came in even harder and was like, so what's up? You're looking real good tonight. And he was like, what the fuck? Like back the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like I'm here with my girlfriend. And then he's like, are you gay? And he's like, yeah, I'm gay. And he's like, get the fuck away from me. I'm here with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like back the fuck up. And like went way too hard into him. Like it continued and it went way too south. And I was like, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
You did not need to do that. Like, whatever. So the guy goes off and pouts and I see where he goes. It's like 30, 40 feet away from us next to a fire. And we're at this outside bar. And so then I was like, dude, you need to go and apologize to him. I'm like, you went too hard. Like
your friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to this young guy. He's only 23. And I'm like, you just apologize. Like, just go over there. Like, just shake his hand and just say, hey, I'm sorry. That was a little too much and I shouldn't have gone there. So he does. He was like, all right, I'll go do that. Walks over there and shakes his hand and even gives him a hug. And is like, hey, man, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yada, yada. Comes back over. Another hour goes by. So now I'm tossed at this point. I go sit by the fire because it's cold. Well, that group of people were over there. It was like 3 guys. And I'm assuming that the other guys were gay, right? And then there's 3 girls with them. There's like 6 of them, and they were college kids. I'm sitting my back up against the fire. The one guy's girlfriend comes over and is standing next to me, and one of the guys, she knows one of the younger boys, and he's standing up, and they're talking like right next to me, and he goes, "I'm really sorry. I just can't sit here with your girlfriend here because I'm feeling really uncomfortable by the way she's looking at me." And I was tossed, which is bad. And he's like a big man, like a young man. He's like 6'4" or 6'3". Like he's a tall, slender young man.
Yeah.
He's cute. He's a cute, and he's gay. You could tell by his like flair in his voice. And
he was just hitting on that dude, right?
That was the friend.
Oh, this is the other guy.
This is one of the other boys. And so I just said to him, I was like, me? I was like confused at first. And I was kind of like taken aback because this kind of stuff you only hear about on social media.
Yeah.
You don't like expect to feel that in person, experience that in person. So I was like, me? And I was like shocked. And he's like, yeah, you. And I'm like, so I stood up to him. And I'm all, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 23. And I'm all, you're a 6'3" or 6'4", 24-year-old young man, and you're scared about what a 33-year-old woman is looking at you like? And he was like, yeah, it's just like making me feel uncomfortable. Like I'm not easy with this situation. And I was like, life is going to be really fucking tough for you. Get a fucking helmet.
Yeah.
I'm like, good luck.
Yeah.
But by this time, security came around us. So then security's like, what's the problem, ma'am? Or is there a problem? And I was like, he's the fucking problem. And so I just went in hard on him because now it's like a yelling match. And they ended up leaving, but I had walked away from the scenario just to like, I'm pretty good about walking away when I get real pissed and like nothing's being done. Like it's just circles. So I just walked outside and I was at the front and they end up walking out. And I was like, his name was Spencer. I remember that. I was like, bye, Spence. So I taunted him on the way out. I was so upset. I was so mad. I'm like, what a pussy. You fucking pussy. I mean,
like, people like that just...
Oh, he's going to have a hard life.
For me, I'm just like, whatever, fuck it. Like, just let him go. I don't know.
Yeah, see, it depends on what kind of day I'm in because if
I feel like that's a woman thing.
It could be.
I mean, was Ryan with you?
Yeah.
And he was just like, whatever.
Ryan was just off doing his Ryan thing.
Sierra does the same shit. Like,
really?
Yeah, we'll get wasted together and we'll be out. And like, just one thing pops to mind. We were in Newport. We just got kicked out of one bar.
But don't you think it's something that coincides with women who work? Because all my friends who don't work are not like that.
I don't know. I don't have any friends that don't work.
Okay. All my girlfriends who are like stay-at-home moms and stuff, and we all go out in like a group of 10 of us, and if shit starts popping off, they're the first ones to retreat. They're like, hey, Diana, like, let's go. And I'm like, no, fuck that.
Dude, we were at a bar in Newport for my birthday, I think. Blacked out, wasted. We're in line for a bar because we just got kicked out of another one. And I'm standing there, can barely stand up. Like, I shouldn't have gotten that drunk. And,
who spiked your drink?
And out of nowhere, Sierra just starts screaming at this guy. What the fuck are you looking at? And I'm just like, dude.
I love her.
I'm like, yo, don't do that. I can't fight right now. I'm way too fucked up. Like,
oh, yeah.
And then so they kicked us out, and then we tried to go across, and then she just had to use the bathroom in another bar. The guy wouldn't let us in, so she teed off on this fucking guy that wouldn't let us in and was like, I just need to use the fucking bathroom. Like, let me in. And I, like, whatever. And then we ended up just leaving. She fell into a cactus. It was a great night. I don't even know how we got into this.
That sounds like me in Hawaii. One night I was like, we been momming for the first few years with Hunter. It was one of our first vacations away alone. I got so drunk. I like peed in the bushes on the way back to the hotel, fell over. And then I was like, fuck you, Ryan. Fuck you, Ryan.
Oh my God. We should all go. Well,
I probably should not. People, it's so funny how people are like on Instagram, like, oh, you say that you are a Christian, but look at you. And I'm just like, okay, like you're perfect. Like
nobody's perfect.
God, nobody's perfect. And I hate when people are like that too, like so judgy. It's like, let's take a look in the mirror, buddy.
Yeah.
But I'm talking, it's funny because I was just telling my girlfriend the other day, I'm like, I talk about these funny stories because there's such great memories. And not all of them I'm like drunk or like, you know, tipsy, but it's like we tell these stories and you'll always have, it doesn't matter how great of a person you are, you have someone being like, it's so Christian of you. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that as a Christian. I should say like, you're right. I'm wrong.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. I think you should say whatever you want to say. I don't know. You know I grew up Jewish, right?
Yeah.
I always say I'm like Jewish.
Well, that's how most Jews are. Most Jews are Jewish.
Yeah, like
Did you know that?
Yeah.
In the business world, they all like fuck hookers, party hard, and they'll do their little hush, hush, praying in the morning.
I mean,
did your dad do the prayer?
To be honest with you, I really don't remember like too much.
Really?
I don't remember a lot of my childhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did your dad ever wear the Jewish I don't know.
Come on, spit it out. I know you got
yarmulke.
this. Bro. Don't be helping her.
Yarmulke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we went to, so like I was bar mitzvahed and stuff.
Did he wear his sash in the morning and do his prayers?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. None of that stuff.
The ultra rich ones, that's what they do.
The ultra rich ones? Yeah, no.
Ultra rich. I'm talking like ultra.
I feel like not bad. Like my mom still tries to celebrate like the stuff, and I kind of still do it for her or whatever every now and then. But I like celebrating Christmas. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was bar mitzvahed, but pretty much right after that, I was like done because I got bullied a lot in high school for being Jewish.
Why?
I don't know. People would draw swastikas on my locker.
Oh,
I was always the Jew boy. I know.
Isn't that so sad?
I mean, looking back now, no.
No, but it's sad then that the kids don't.
I think
I think that a lot of white kids associate like swastikas because they find out about that part of history and like for some reason they think it's cool, or they're hanging out with someone who does it who thinks it's cool.
Yeah.
And they don't. Teenagers and children don't understand the effect and the weight of emotionality. They don't.
So that's like that kid that just died.
What kid?
The kid at Rancho High School that got beat to death?
Oh, I saw something about that, about like 5 kids jumping him, and then one kid jumped in to protect him, and then that's the one kid that died, right?
So, I don't know the story, obviously, but I definitely would be willing to put money that most of the kids there that was beating that kid to death were just there because their friends were.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like to fit in.
Yeah.
It's like fucking stupid. Yeah. So the surrounding that you have, like the people that you have around you, majorly fucking impacts your life.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
I don't know how we got on this rant of like drunken stories and
this is where the wind leads me every time. We're talking about fucking weird stuff all the time. That's what happens every single time I talk to people.
I do want to get back to the whole salty honey thing though.
So, okay, let's do it.
So
that's how we started Salty Honey. I already told you that part.
Okay, so here's the thing though, is like you've done an amazing job at building like this community.
That's my partner.
Well, it's not just your partner; it's both of you, right?
I mean, we definitely have our parts of things, but like what happened in building the community was that we kept on having girls ask to be ambassadors for our company. Like, hey, can I represent your brand?
So before we even
came up with that concept, it was girls writing Taylor on Instagram being like, can I represent your company? And we were like, we don't even know what that would look like, but sure, like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's basically our first program that we ever launched. That was like, let's get the girls in our area involved. And it made our company skyrocket pretty fast.
Damn, that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
So it was just people reaching out to you.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But so you guys were heavily focused on the brand then in the beginning then, right?
Oh yeah. It was just her and I doing everything.
What do you think were like if you can give me like 2 major things that helped like skyrocket the brand into what it is? Like, was it just like, did you guys ever do any like influencer marketing, or well, I guess you guys are the influencers. You're the influential marketers.
No, just our ambassadors. They are, I mean, essentially they're affiliates, but they're not.
Before you got to that point, I'm saying.
No, before that, we'd never even paid for ads until 8 months ago.
And it was all from social media?
It was all from Instagram. That's it. We never had another platform. We never even started doing email marketing until 2 years ago.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The power of social media.
Yeah. So we did everything organic. Everything was off of Instagram. Remember, the algorithm started changing a couple of years ago. So 2 years in, I want to say maybe a year and a half in, you know what it all comes down to is, yes, the ambassadors were there, and that's definitely a huge part of our business. But Taylor and I's work ethic, tenacity, and consistency,
yep,
we would not have been able to put the brand where it's at now without those 3 things. And we very much so mirror each other in a work ethic sense. So if we have 10 things on our plate right now, oh God, we have some big projects happening right now. It's a little daunting because not only do we have these projects happening, we have all these phone calls, we have this mentorship program that we signed up for the business. We have these weekly sales calls. We don't even have a sales team, but everyone is naturally a salesman.
Yeah.
Just naturally.
Yep.
Everyone in life is. So here we are, like, signing up for these sales calls. We do these sales calls every single week. We do
with like
training.
your ambassadors, you mean?
No. Just our internal team. There's 5 of us. And that's what we just focus on, doing these daily trainings every single day. And we talk about it. That's something new that we've implemented, is like talking about it with our team. It's like, it takes up a lot more time.
Yeah.
But
who's the one that, so you asked me like, who is the captain of my ship? Who's the person that, so you said Taylor's more of the creative side. Is she the one that's visionary, like bringing that stuff to the table? Like, hey, I think we should do these sales meetings, because it has to come from somewhere.
We all do. So we go together to these business seminars, and she catches the things. They'll talk about 1 million things in a day. It's really cool because we'll retain only 10% of it.
Yep.
But 5% of that is all that her brain saw, and 5% of that is everything I saw.
Yep.
So we come together and we say, how can we implement all these things that we learned? And we'll go back to the same exact seminar to pull other things that we learned from it that we just didn't hear the first time. So it takes both of us. So like, if she says, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z and implement X, Y, and Z, I'll go and source it, and I'll go and find it. And it's my job to implement it 90% of the time. She's like, we both are visionaries, but I'm visionary in a different sense. I'm visionary in the business route and what we should do to expand.
Yeah.
She's visionary in the creative, the vibe of the company, how she wants our clothing look, photo shoots, how the overall brand appeal is.
Yep.
That is her vision. And then she drives the company through social media. She drives the company through our community. She drives the company through sales ideas. I drive the company through sourcing and production. I'm driving the company by new strategies that we come up with together, and I implement them. So it's just like, we both do a bit of those things, but it's in different ways.
Yeah. And for the people that are watching, implementing new things into your business definitely do not always work.
Mm-mm.
Right? Like trial and error. So typically I try to give something 90 days
mm-hmm.
to see if it works. If it doesn't work by 90 days, I cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have something like that? Or do you like I'm saying, like, I'm sure you've tried to implement things like, all right, this isn't working, like we need to cut this, right?
Yeah, we look at different pieces, different colors of different pieces, because it is Nike can afford to put out a million navy blue pants. We'll make 150 blue pants and 10 of them will sell.
Right.
So it's like, those are certain things that we do. Every now and then we'll have something happen with the ambassadors that will be like, okay, that we need to shave that program down. We need to hone that program and mold it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or like a operating procedure that we have for the staff. Something will be going wrong and we'll have to go in and mold that process better.
Yeah. Which my wife just became an ambassador.
Yeah, she did.
Which is really cool because, you know, Pillow Talk, I get to see like the inner workings of it.
Yeah, she's showing you all the good stuff or what? She's showing you the community and all that stuff yet?
Not really. A little bit. Like I think there's like you guys have a thread going. Like it's really cool. There's just so much company culture and like community. Like I can't wait to have that someday.
That's awesome.
You know? So it's really dope. People are paying attention to it. I applaud you. I don't know. It's awesome.
I definitely could never have done it without Taylor and all of our beautiful people that love and support us, you know?
Yeah.
We really, truly are blessed. And every day we wake up and we're hungry for more.
Yep.
And that's the only way, in my opinion, that you can do business is don't take things personal. This is one of the first things I tell any new staff member that we have is like, you cannot take anything personal.
Yep.
Nothing personal. If you come up with a design idea and I don't like it or Taylor doesn't like it, we just move on to the next thing. Right. We're not like don't beat yourself up because we said no to an idea. But with women, you really have to make sure you say that because girls do take things personal. I mean, I take things personal. So, you know, working with women, it gives you a whole different ball game because I am very emotionless. Like when it comes to my business, I'm just like boom, boom, pow. Yeah, I am. But a lot of girls coming up or working for you, they want to, and they want to be a part of the business, and I want them to be a part of the business, but I also want them to know that you can't take anything personal. Yep. So if I say no to something and it's immediate no, it's not like don't run in the corner and cry about it or pout about it. Just be like, okay, on to the next thing.
You have to take all of your emotions out of decisions, which is very hard to do. Like, I think that was one of the hardest things I've had to learn in business. I would definitely say is like taking all of my emotions out of any situation in my business and making like pure, like logical decisions.
Oh yeah.
Business decisions. And
also looking at certain scenarios and being like you have to think we're dealing with a community of women. There are some girls that we've kind of thought about doing business with, like whether it's a collaboration or something else that we've known what they were before we had Salty Honey. Like we're talking about girls who are like maybe influencers now or have businesses of their own and they want to collaborate with us. And we're like, okay, we have to put out the pros and the cons. And then we're like, wait a minute. If her values don't align with our values and then something is misconstrued, that could like create a rift for our company. So we're not going to do that. But if we know who they are and we feel like they're on the same page as us as far as our views and our beliefs, then we're like, okay, we can do this collaboration. But there are some people out there that we've had to be like, they would be so good money wise for business, but they just are not on our same belief system and they don't have the same views as us. So we're going to have to go pass on that one. And those are hard ones to, as business owners, where you're looking at the numbers being like, doesn't matter how much money she pulls in. If something goes wrong, that's not going to be an easy split.
Yep.
So bypassing those choices as well.
Man, like people just don't, nobody gets it.
People
from the outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all of the little things that you have to think about and deal with like on a daily basis. Just as a business owner in general.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what we are. We are problem solvers.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Firefighters. I should get that's what I'm going to do.
Taylor has a firefighter sticker on her car.
Does she?
Yeah. She said the fireman that gave it to her said that it would get her out of tickets.
Wait, what does she have on her car?
Like a station number with a firefighter. It's like a firefighter.
Just a sticker?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And the guy said, if you run this sticker, you like cops will just
really
for the most part. It's like having the cop license plate.
Yeah.
You know?
I need to get one of those stickers. or he was just trying to like.
Could be that too.
Man. Okay. All right. Well, Salty Honey is amazing. If you guys want to check out Salty, is it just saltyhoney.com?
Saltyhoney.co. Actually, I'm wearing my shirt right now.
Yeah, dope.
But we don't ever come out with shirts like this. Like, it's very few far. We came out with this for the holidays like a year and a half ago. But it's one of my faves.
And you guys just had some stuff drop today too. Like an intimate.
We have drops coming like every 10 days.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
yeah.
That's sick. Well, I do also want to hit you on real estate a little bit.
Okay, let's talk about real estate.
You and Ryan
I'm the real estate girl.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Ryan loves real estate too, but I'm the one like finding the deals and.
Because you guys already own real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you guys got some investments going on right now too. Mm-hmm. Did you start in multifamily or? Okay,
so.
What made you get into real estate? Don't tell me Grant Cardone.
No, I never even knew who Grant Cardone was until like 2 years ago. And then he started his business side of things with Brandon Dawson, and that's who like I vibe with. And it's so funny when we go to our business seminars, Taylor is like all about Grant Cardone because he's like an insane marketer. Like his marketing is like,
a lot of people hate on that guy.
And I don't know why. He's so fucking funny and he's a happy person and he's fucking motivated. You know why you're just hating on him? Because you can't be him. Yeah. That's why. You can't fucking hate on him. That dude, what he's created with his buy-in group, with his like Cardone investments, is the largest personal funded investment group in the United States.
Yeah.
He pays, if you give him money, you're going to get a check every month from rentals. Like he's using people's money to go buy real estate. It's so fucking smart.
Yeah.
Using a buying group like that.
Have you been to like the 10X growth conference? Is that what you're talking about?
I haven't been to the growth con, no. But I bought tickets for it. I'm not going to the one this year in Miami. I'm going to the one in Vegas next year in 2025. And yeah, that's where we're going. But no, we got into real estate because Ryan and I own bars. Okay.
In Washington?
In Washington. Yeah. So when I met Ryan, he was just started building his first bar. He just signed the lease on that bar. Literally, like 2 days before I met him. And he was building it. And I was like, cool. This dude's like motivated like me, So I'm like, I just bought my first house. So he's 33. I'm 23 at the time. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this guy matches my level. Like I never dated a guy that much older than me, but it wasn't like foreign. All my siblings are 10 years older than me. So it was like all the music he listened to, everything, the way he talked, everything he did, I was like with it. Like it wasn't like foreign. And he was building this bar, opens the bar, pops off, doing great. Fast forward a year later, he gets a phone call that the building that he is in is going under contract and going to be sold. And the new owners were basically calling Ryan to say, hey, if you don't want to put in a bar in the big empty space right next to you, right next to your little bar, we're going to go across the street and offer it to your competitor across the street. And Ryan looked at me and was like, can you please come to Washington with me and do this bar with me? Because if I don't live up there and build this bar out next door, my little bar will get put under. And I was like, totally, let's go. So we moved up to Washington and it was fun. It was like building my first business with him. But luckily, like I'm a problem solver. So it's like I figured out how to do everything. Like we came up with the floor plan, of course. And he knew how to do all the plans and the permitting and all that because he did it with his first bar.
Yeah.
So we just got started on demo and when I was 18, I was working at PF Chang's as well as a waitress. So I went through all their opening procedures. I opened up the Temecula location. So I had all my training manuals and I brought that over from there. So that's how we first got into real estate, like looking at the lease, negotiating our lease. And then with the sale of that building too, like being like, shit, if we would have bought the building, like that building would be worth $5 million now. We had the option to buy it for $800,000.
Shut up.
Yeah, because at that time, 10 years ago, Spokane, Washington was not on the map. People were not moving there like how they have moved there the last 5 years. Like Spokane's real estate industry really took off like 5 years ago because Seattle got overrun with crime and with expensive housing. So they started pushing all the students to finish medical school in Spokane because we have a really good hospital there. So that's all of a sudden we have all these like final year interns, medical school that can qualify for a loan, and all the houses were being bought up. So we have Hunter and we sell him. Well, here we have this lump sum. We have like $1 million sitting in our bank account. And we're like, we sold the bars. What do we do? And so.
Was Hunter born in Seattle?
He was born in Spokane. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we moved here when he was 4 months old. And that's why we sold the bars, is because of Hunter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because who the fuck wants to deal with drugs and cops and crazy bitches knocking out your window at 3 a.m. with rocks? Crazy shit. But it was super fun. So we came down here and we're down at Bullhead City.
Yeah.
And my dad's a general contractor my whole life, you know, like seeing him build homes, businesses. He was a flipper though. Like he'd build it and then he'd do spec homes. Build a custom home, flip it. Build a custom home, flip it. He's always done that. So we had told him, hey, we want to build a house on the river. Will you build it for us? And he was like, I'll build one too. And I'm going to leave California anyways. So as he's down there, he goes, hey, I found this house. My aunt, Katie, is our real estate agent down there. She's like, hey, I found this house and it's a little 2-bedroom house. It's run down. I can totally redo it. We can go on partners on it. You pay for everything, buy everything. I'll live here for a year and a half, and it's the house that I'll use to build when I'm building my house, and then I'll build your house at the same time. Okay. So we're like, boom, perfect. Get it. He renovates it. Takes a couple months. Pristine, beautiful little house. Okay. $60,000 for that house. Okay. I sold it for $130 2 years later. So he
$60,000.
It was a foreclosure. Yeah, they were squatting in it.
No, but after the rehab, you were all in $60,000?
No. I was all in at $85,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he moves into his house. Well, as we're starting to build our house, we're pouring the foundation. I'm like telling Ryan, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, I can't. I don't think we should spend our whole bank account on this house because it was going to be like $1 million house. Yeah. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't like the tweakers riding their bicycles right in front of that. Like you can't let your kid go out and ride his bicycle. You know, it's not like my parent has they have a gated property. I'm like, it's not like my parents' house. Like we'll just go to my parents' house. Like let's just stay up in Vegas and let's put our money somewhere else. Well, at the time, Bullhead City hadn't taken off yet. And so
how old were you guys at this time?
27 and 37. And so my aunt hits me and is like, dude, why don't you get into buying some mobiles down here, some duplexes. There's a ton of duplexes and fourplexes for sale. And we're like, well, what does that even look like? Like hit us with the links. She was like, boom, sends me the links. 245,000 was the first one I saw, which is the one I bought. She's like, this is how much rent it pulls in. It pulls in like $600 a month in rent. It's 245,000. It's a really nice building. It's 30 years old, but it's a nice building. She's like, nobody's been living in it for the last 8 years. The landlord doesn't want to have tenants and deal with tenants. So he's just been sitting on it. So that's why he's selling it. I'm like, how much could each unit rent for? And she's like, 1 bedroom's for $600, 2 bedrooms for $750, and they don't have garages. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's $245,000 and we're going to be pulling in 30 something, $3,300 or $3,400 in rent. Yeah, go for it. Let's buy it. Yeah. Boom, buy it. 30 days later, I go ahead and put probably put $5,000 into it, just no gold fixtures, renovating, updating. Stuff. Yeah, small stuff. Nothing crazy. Cause even though the cabinets were 30 years old, they were clean. All white appliances, everything looks super clean. It's still a great building today.
Light bulbs and air filters. And
yes, air filters. I got the owner had capped off the laundry hookups in every unit because he said leaking had happened. I went ahead and I had a plumber come over. The plumber was like, no, everything's great. Put caps on everything, or took the caps off everything, got everything working. I got people moved in right away. Boom. And then I was like, okay, cool. That's awesome. Our money, and we paid for him cash. So then the next one, a couple months later, I'm like, this building, and 210,000, same kind of thing. All 4 tenants had been there a really long time. But the values, the market rent, the rent was way under market value. So the leases were coming up in 6 to 8 months. I knew that as soon as 6 to 8 months came up, I could hike them up a couple $100s each. Yeah. That's how that started. So we would have bought a couple more, but at that time, we ended up putting our money in other things. Like we put it into the stock market. We just started like kind of just seeing other ways we could figure out how to make money on our money. And so we had those going. Those were paid outright. They were perfect. And then we started learning about how to leverage properties to use money to buy other things and whatnot. So then what we did was a couple of years later, we're like, we want to build our own home. So we bought our land and we were working. So we were making a lot of money. So we went ahead and built the house, and then like the last little bit of money that we needed to finish the house outright, we were like, let's leverage these properties. Yeah. Took $300,000 out of them. Boom, finished up our house. And then we took a mortgage out on our house when it was 2.5%. And then we took all that money and we just soaked it into the ammo industry. So it's like, we have so much ammo. It's just like using your debts and learning. It's really, real estate is such an amazing thing. Don't get me wrong. Like we like that little income a month. It's $5,500 a month in rent and pulls in. That's great. I'm like, but the real tool that it's been for us is using it as a leverage to use it for our other businesses and for other assets. That money has made us mad money. So just like on our house too, like everyone's like, why'd you take a mortgage out on it? I'm like,
2.5%. That's so fucking cheap.
That's free money, dude. Yeah.
And if you think about it, so I'm assuming you guys did a 30-year loan.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So no idea what your mortgage is a month, but for conversation's sake, let's say it's like $4,000 a month.
$5,000.
Okay. $5,000 a month. In 10, 15 years, that's going to be like $500 a month.
Yeah. No, we'll have that.
Inflation.
Ryan was like, if we ever wanted to sell our house, I'm like, Ryan, we're never selling our house. We're never going to sell our house.
Your house is dope.
Yeah. I'm like, if you want to go and leave and you want to go like travel the country or you want to go to Europe for a year or something, we'll put everything into a storage unit and I'll rent this house out. Yeah. We can rent that house out for 3 times what our mortgage is.
Absolutely. You could.
So it's like, that or Airbnb-ing it, like people want like a little oasis. So, we love real estate. We do have I bought a 3.5 acre piece of land 8 months ago. We're in the architectural phase right now. Our plans are being drafted. Our goal is to be in construction by fall of this year.
Like 70 some doors, right?
50
doors.
Yeah. So it'll be 25 duplexes and, they'll be considered high end because that area is not high end, but they are, there will be really roomy, spacious, like 1,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath units, and they'll feel really homey, So we're really excited about that and can't wait to just have that money coming in, that depreciation schedule, baby, tax benefits.
Man, you guys are awesome.
Well, thanks, buddy.
But how the fuck do you manage all that shit? Isn't that stress? Like, how do you manage the stress?
Oh, I'm so easy with stress. I don't know why stress doesn't bother me.
Does it bother Ryan?
Yeah, he can't handle stress. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I have a lot on my plate, and y'all got more than I do. I mean, I don't know. You just take them and just bang, 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 bang.
Oh, yeah. I don't. There's very rarely do I ever feel like overwhelmed by stress. And it's like a couple of weeks ago when we came back from our seminar and then I had to leave. And so I couldn't do all of our training calls. And then I fell behind on my workload. It's like every day is so imperative for me to do my workload. And I've even given off a lot of my workload to girls. Yeah. So it's like, holy shit, what was I doing before they even existed? Right. Like, oh my God, that's why I was losing my mind. Even Taylor was like, hey, Dianna, like, we've talked about this 5 times and you can't remember, like, and you didn't write it down. So we're having a problem here. So I think you need to figure out something. Yeah. So that's when we shifted everything over to a online. It's like basically like it's our company's brain. It has all of our workflows on there. Everything's
like
on there.
Slack or something? Like for communication?
No, Slack is just a communication tool. We use that as well for our ad agency.
You do use Slack?
We use ClickUp. Slack is just
No, I'm saying for communication.
Oh, yeah, for the ad agency.
You like it?
It's just a messaging tool.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Do you like it?
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm old school.
It's great when you work with people.
fucking Facebook Messenger.
Okay, so it's basically the same. It's an organized text message thread. Yeah. So like you can go to Slack and then you can see who all are your users that are texting in on a thread. And then like you can put attachments in there. So, but the attachments stay in there, just like your text log would. But now it's like, it's organized.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot more than that, but that's all we use it for.
Yeah.
I use a system called ClickUp.
Is that your CRM?
What's a CRM?
Customer retention management?
No.
Something like that?
No.
No?
This is our ClickUp is like the brain of our business. All of our tasks, all of our SOPs, all of our duties, what's in production, what's in sampling, any little detail to the business, look up clickup.com.
I'm going to write that down.
Just go to clickup.com. It'll say the most powerful yada, yada, yada in the world, you know? Here, let's see what it says.
One app to replace them all.
Yep. And the funny thing is, this wasn't my first time trying to find something. I was trying to find something that could work. I tried the Google Drive because that's what all of our business seminars, like every time they pull up stuff, it was coming from, and they'd update their team. It was coming from the Google Drive.
Yeah, you don't use Google Drive?
And I was like, what is this? So we tried to figure it out, and it was so fucking hard to figure out.
What do you use for your calendar?
Oh, I don't use Google Calendar. I use ClickUp Calendar. What? And it syncs to my Apple Calendar. So,
I live and breathe
on
my
Google.
Google Calendar.
But different businesses have different things.
Yeah.
So then I had a girl that I was working with for social media. She uses Monday.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, that's a to-do list.
So hard.
I'm like, that's a fucking to-do list. I have my notepad and paper for that. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need to go in there and put like my to-do list is this and this is the end date. I can have that on so that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So then we started using Slack with our ad agency, and I was like trying to find something, and it's called it's a German term, but it's a term that it's boards that go like this.
What's the word?
I can't remember the German term.
I just wanted to hear you try and pronounce it.
I can find it out for you if you want me to.
What do you mean to-do list?
That's how Monday is. So then ClickUp was like full blown collaboration. I can import large files. If we have a launch coming and there's 40 new photos that need to go, and it needs to go out to 5 different teams, because that's what happens. You have a graphic person, you have a website person, you have the ad agency to start running the ads and doing the email collaborations. Yep. You have the warehouse that needs to upload the photos to those things. All that needs to be in one place. What we were doing before is we were fucking sending them to all those people. Now we just hit them with a link and we're like, here it is. Here's all the launch information. I put in all the launch information. I plan it out on the calendar. And then Taylor puts the photos in there. And then it's like that piece has everyone that needs access to it has access to it. To
it's
pull
like
from
really simplifying delegation.
Exactly. So it's a wonderful system. So we use clickup.com and we love it. And everything syncs with it too. Like Slack syncs with it. Google syncs with it. Like anytime you want something to sync with it, that's what it does.
I'll look into it.
Software development, marketing, engineering, design.
I just don't know if that, I'm in the service industry. Like I own service companies. I don't know if
it's project management basically.
I don't know. I'll tell Sierra.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for new shit.
Yeah.
And
Wait, don't keep looking for new shit if you find something that works for you.
No, I know. But I mean, I'm always looking to improve what I have.
Oh, okay.
See,
I'm a loyalist. I'll ride with something as long as it works for me for a really long time, like 5 years.
Well, the problem is like in our business, we have a CRM software that does all of our scheduling, invoicing, estimating, all that stuff, but I don't put my calendar in there.
Yeah, see, that's what this does. Every single person that's in my database can have their own working calendar for
can they
their
see
stuff.
your calendar?
I can put it in there if I want them to see it.
Yeah.
I can assign it to them and it'll show up on their calendar.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I can crisscross.
Can they assign stuff on your calendar?
Yeah.
I'll look into it. Because that was the thing is if I don't have something on my schedule, I won't do it.
No, of course not.
My entire life is on a schedule.
Right.
So gym, any Zoom calls, running payroll, fucking any events that I do, Everly's cheer. Like literally everything. If it's not on there, I'll forget about it.
Well, no wonder you have a virtual assistant. You have a virtual assistant, right? You were the one telling me about that.
Yeah, so we just hired a VA.
I need a in-person assistant.
Well, actually I got two. I got 2 virtual assistants, technically. One's in Texas, one's in the Philippines, which is really dope. You should look into that. But
no,
I mean,
Sierra's gonna steal my shit.
Sierra's coming back now into the business,
Yeah, put that mama to work.
I know. having a kids are hard.
No, it's not. It's so fun.
No, it's great, but being able to run businesses and do sales calls and.
But your kids come before all that.
No, I know, but I mean,
Just
when
some
she's trying to call like the head of like a massive corporation, and in the background she's like, "Oh, sorry, I gotta go," and then you hang up because the baby's crying.
Well, that's different. Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
It's just different worlds.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
it's different worlds.
We're navigating through that.
You know, she'd be really probably, if she's going to work like core 2 or 3 hours a day, it'd be awesome for her to have like a friend who is a high schooler.
We're working
babysitter.
on that right now too.
Yeah, like come over from like 1:30 to 4:30.
Yep.
And she's just able to like dive for those 3 hours.
So we actually just kind of started reaching out to people today, ironically.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to start looking at trying to find like, so if you know anybody.
I will let you know.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's always a good time hanging out with you.
You got me a gift.
I did. And before we get out of here, I do want to thank our sponsor for the show, Dirt Shades. Shout out to Dirt Shades for throwing us some shades, which are super dope. We got you a pair.
Dirt Shades. Let me see my prize. Look at my prize. Look at these Dirt Shades.
They're comfortable.
There we go. I don't know what I look like. I better not look like a tool bag.
No, they look good.
I can't see it here. Let me see.
Look, you could just look on the TV.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, no, I can't because they fit my big head. You know, I have a massive head for a girl, so
I wasn't gonna
that's
say
good. You know, I have a big old block head, Ryan, and I come from the Jarhead clan of white people. White people, square head clan.
I don't know what that's like.
I don't know. Like, that's the only thing I can think of is like
My head's proportionate.
white people. You know, we have all these Europeans all over the place, right? Well, the Irish people be looking like they got red hair and little heads. We're over here like brownish hair. I have like red brown hair, but I have a massive head. Like there definitely has to be like something happened back in the day where it's like we both come from the massive head tribe.
You got a little,
me?
got a little stretched out.
Yeah,
head.
like our jaws are just like so massive.
You said like.
My husband's.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I feel like my head's proportionate. I don't know.
You have a nice head. I have a nice head too. I'm just saying it's massive. I got a nice head. Let's just check this out. Like I got a big, like, come on. If I've taken pictures next to my ex-boyfriends and I would be like, oh, I have to like get behind you to like look like I have a smaller head. And with Ryan, his head is so massive. And
That's
like,
crazy.
this is so nice.
People are self-conscious about so many different things, and people like never notice that.
I know.
You know, like
I'm a girl. I notice everything about myself.
But guys are self-conscious about a lot of things too.
Like what?
I'm self-conscious about my ears.
What are you self-conscious about?
Look, man,
I
I just
said
my ears, bro. Don't even say nothing. Do not even.
LJ's like, look at me, fool. I'm good.
Whatever, man.
Oh, he's good.
I'll tell you a story.
Sure.
No, dude, pull up that chair. We'll just turn the mic this way.
Regis had like this.
Yeah.
Like his ears.
Yeah, I love
that.
I just said that. I'm
I
self-conscious
like when
about my
guys do
ears.
I like when guys.
I don't
do that.
like
Do
the
you not
way
like that. Oh,
Yeah, see, bro?
I think it's like different strokes for different folks.
Did you see that fucking video that I posted about Sierra yelling at me about golfing? Because I lost all my golf balls.
Yeah, I did see that.
And she was like, sounds like you need to get fucking better at golfing. Anyways.
Do you think Sierra makes you better?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think she makes you strive to want to be a better person?
Yes. That woman's
I
my
think
rock.
that's what's important in a relationship is that your partner makes you want to be a better person.
And it's like, I don't want to be a better person for me. I want to be a better person for her and the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they deserve everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm the person that should give that to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they deserve everything.
Right.
You know? Without her, I don't even know where I'd be.
Yeah, you gotta. I often talk about that with Ryan, and I'm just like, how he's literally like, I don't know what I would do without you, and that's why like every single night when I kiss my kids to sleep and I go to bed next to Ryan, I'm like, oh, another day I get to live, because when you have kids, it just shifts the perspective. Before I had kids, I'd be like, you're fucking fine. You'll find another chick, like if I died or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that I have kids and I have my family, I'm like, oh my God, I have to be here for them. Like I have to be vigilant. You know, obviously we have no idea when we come and when we go, but I'm just like, thank you God for another day. Thank you so much for like blessing my family. Thanks for keeping me alive. Thanks for allowing me to be their mother, you know, and it's just, life is so much more precious. Man, I have like gunk all over my lips. Oh. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know. Is that you're shooting in 6K or 4K or whatever? Right?
Don't shoot that.
I don't know.
All my gunk. On my.
Oh man. All right. Well, I agree with you 100%. You know, I say that all the time. Any day above ground is a good day. A lot of people didn't get to put their feet on the ground this morning. You gotta be thankful for the things you have. And I know you've been yelling at me about me getting my shit together. So
how about your business? Does your business bring you to a deeper? Does your business bring you to a deeper level of spirituality?
Well, define what you mean by that.
Does it bring you to something that's like, in order for me to rest and recuperate and to keep my dreams alive and my fire alive, where do you find that fuel? You just think it comes from your own self? Do you just create it in your own brain?
No, I mean, I like giving opportunity. I like having opportunities for other people, you know?
So that's what fuels your fire? That's why you do what you do?
I mean, I do what I do first and foremost to provide for my family. Mm-hmm. And then, but I mean, I thoroughly
What keeps Robert rooted?
Rooted or fueled?
Fueled.
Because those are two different things.
What keeps Robert rooted?
Rooted?
Yeah.
Sierra.
Oh, that's cute.
Without a doubt. And the kids too, you know, like.
Have another baby. Don't rob that from Sierra.
What do you mean? I just gave her one.
I have another.
Why are you not? You know what? I don't have the room.
Yeah, you do.
My damn house.
Yeah, you do. It's fine. You'll make room.
Okay. All right. Yep. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah.
Sierra, you're getting pregnant.
I've been doing a lot of practice.
Given maybe another year from now.
Yeah. No. I mean,
you're too young.
A lot of practice, like, you know, trying to make one. I want some more practice before the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
I practice every day.
Okay. Thank you. What keeps me fueled?
I practice daily.
Good job, Ryan. What keeps me fueled? I guess to be honest with you, knowing that I can be gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know, I've had so many crazy wake up calls in my life. Mm-hmm. And, I want to make sure that my family has something when I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. True, you know? That. Generational.
I've definitely dealt with having to pick up a lot of pieces, I would say. Like when my dad died, I mean, he was upside down in the house. My mom lived in Florida. Fucking Eric, like, and I didn't even know until we did that co-parenting podcast with Faith and everything. Like it just got like removed out of my mind. Like I forgot about how hard it was, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like I lost air conditioning in like the middle of summer in Vegas, and I was living in the house because I was fucking broke.
Aww.
And I hadn't gotten but I'm saying like, and I don't want my kids to have to like deal with shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't fail.
Well, yeah, you got to teach them too. Like as you bring them up, you got to teach them your ways so that they have a set of skills.
Yeah.
And they know what to do.
She comes to like all my networking events and sets up her little lemonade stand but
that's
she's
cute.
A hustler.
Dude, little kids know how to hustle naturally.
Like it'll be like $1 for a cup of lemonade and somebody will hand her a $20. She'll be like, thank you. Just no change. Don't ask them.
Yeah, and then she's a little kid.
Nobody's gonna say anything.
Exactly.
She has like a couple $1,000 saved up from like 3 lemonade stands.
That's awesome. My son had $1,000 saved up, and guess what he did with that money?
VR.
No. He went to fucking school and bought Pokemon cards with it and a fucking Pikachu stuffed doll.
I heard
for $900
about that, actually. Because that's why I came home and was like, I want Pokemon cards.
Still rattles me until today. That's why he doesn't get money.
Wait, hold on. Who did he give the money to?
I don't fucking know. All the kids that he was buying their fucking Pokemon cards. And they were like, yeah, this is a good one. $200. Hit me.
No way.
Yes. So when they banned Pokemon cards at the school, I was like, absolutely.
Did you not talk to the other kids and was like, yo?
No, I'm not going to do that. It's my fault. I shouldn't have let him. I trusted him with a savings account because he had it all in his savings box. And then we saw it was gone. I was like, no, there's like $1,000 in that. My mom needed cash one week when I was gone.
Yeah.
And her cell wasn't working. And I was like, oh, we'll just go into Hunter's thing and get it. And I'll put money back in there when I get back.
Yeah.
She's like, there's not money in there, Dianna. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's like $1,000 in there. And she was like, no, there's not. And then I got home and we had to talk with him about it. He was denying it at first. And then we just kept on persisting on it. And then he finally was like, well, yeah, I went and bought these Pokemon cards at class. And then, some of the moms were like, oh no, we're going to, we'll talk to our kids about it. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying to be aware so that your kid doesn't take $100 or $200 and go spend it on stupid fucking Pokemon cards at school.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay. Rant done.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. I didn't know there was like something going on at school.
I gotta go.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to this awesome show. Dianna, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to come on. I know you're a busy woman. You got 2 beautiful babies at home and businesses and all that other stuff. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And again, thank you to Dirt Shades and Dianna. Appreciate both of you guys.
Thank you, kind sir.
And
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace out.